I'm Kara Dawson with Johnson Charter Academy and Research Triangle Charter Academy. I'm the admissions rep for both of the schools. So let's take a little bit of an inside look at one of our schools and see what it looks like. When you come into the front office, one of the very first things we ask you to do when you come in is sign in. We have our visitor system here. It's called Raptor. Anybody who's not normal, faculty and staff on campus must submit their driver's license, and what it does is it runs a background check just to let us know if you're allowed to be around kiddos. And then once you have that badge, you'll be able to print it off and we'll be able to step through our locked door to our school. Before we go any further, I'd like to talk about our 3 locked door system. So when you come into the school, the very front door, you have to ring a doorbell. That door is locked. It's only open twice a day, when the kiddos are coming into the school and when they're leaving the school. Once you're in this front lobby area, you can always leave, but you cannot come any further into the school. You have to get through our second locked door system. So this is our second locked door. It's always open to go out. It is locked to go into the school. Our last and third locked door that we have, once you have your visitor's badge, you'll be able to get through this last locked door. You'll hear the buzzing sound through the door to let us in, but before we go any further, this is Miss Long. She is our wonderful registrar. If you have any paperwork that you would like to turn into her for our newly accepted families, you can send it to 108.n as in Nicole Long, L-O-N-G, at nhschools.com. So we'll step out into our school. You hear the buzzing sound, it lets us in. So our school starts in order. It starts in kindergarten and then it ends in our 8th grade middle school wing. So let's go ahead and take a look down the hallway. Before we get to our kindergarten families, we have what's called our parent room. Our parent room is exactly what it sounds like. It is for our parents to come in and volunteer. We have free Wi-Fi, we have a computer set up in there, and there's also a bathroom located inside. There is a set of table and chairs where you can come in and have private lunch with your kiddo, or if you'd like to volunteer in the school, we have an area set up where you can come in and do filing, cutting, or anything else that the teachers may need that there may not be space for in the classroom. Let's step inside to one of our first kindergarten classrooms. This is Miss Urrutia's classroom. So right now it looks just a little bit different just because we're cleaning our school at the moment. But this is typically what a kindergarten classroom looks like. They have the alphabet carpet on the floor where they sit for their instructional time. They also have their cubbies where they keep all of their headphones and notebooks and different items like that. Each has their own separate cubby, and underneath it is a hook for them to hang up their book bag, their coat, their lunch box, etc. Also, one of the very big things that we like to point out when it comes to our front boards in our classroom is our behavioral expectations. This is called CHAMPS. It stands for Communication or Conversation, Help, Activity, Movement, Participation, and Success. Now, first grade uses supplies, but all the other classrooms use success. Communication, how loud are you going to be in the classroom? How loud are you going to be in the hallway? How do you ask for help? With our group settings, with our workshop model, you can always raise your hand and ask the teacher for help, especially if you're taking a test. But if you're doing your workshop model, we have the ask 3, ask your classmates before me. So ask 3 before me with raising your hand. Activity, what are you going to be doing? Our workshops, or we could be doing instructional time, or we could be doing individual work, which you can see with Miss Urrutia's class, the last thing they were doing was a workshop. M, movement, stay in your seat. So while they were doing these workshops, she was asking that they stay in their seats. My favorite movement is limited. That means you can be up and around the classroom, you can be on the carpets, you can do whatever's comfortable for you or for the kiddos. You just have to not abuse it to use it. P, participation. How are you going to participate? Typically it's 100%, but we also have different ways you can participate, like who are you going to be working with the activity? What would a good partner or a good worker look like? So right now, participation is in partners, and then S for success. And our kindergarten classrooms are going to be just a little bit different. They also have the bathrooms that go between 2 kindergarten classrooms, a Jack and Jill bathroom. There is a station for them to wash their hands or hand sanitize as well. And also in each one of our classrooms, you're going to find a reading library. They're going to look different in each classroom. This one for Miss Urrutia is right here by her desk, so the kiddos can check a book out every day if they would like. They have a log, which is right here in those purple notebooks. They can just come in the morning, check out a new book if they would like. Let's go ahead and see a couple more of our classrooms. the way to our classrooms, I'd like to point out a few other rooms that we have on the inner portion of our school, our student services classrooms. Our student services can range from a wide variety of things like speech pathologists, occupational therapists, school psychologists, and our social worker, the wonderful Miss Murphy. We also have different classrooms for our intervention. So we have Miss Eastwood here. We also have Miss V and Miss Smith. So we use special education certified teachers in those classrooms. Also on the inner portion of the school are going to be our dean's offices. Our deans are kind of like assistant principals. They push into our classrooms when they are needed. They do 30-minute observations with their teachers once a week. They also are there for academic or behavioral questions that our teachers may have or whatever arises during the day. So we have our last 2 kindergarten classrooms, which makes it a total of 4 classrooms. We end with Miss Abram and Miss Levy's classroom here. On the right, we have our self-contained friends who get to hang out with Miss Sims all day, and she has 3 extra people that are in there with her too. This classroom right here is our technology classroom. This is one of the 4 specials that we get to have during our school day. So they will rotate A, B, C, or D. So they get to have technology, music, art, and PE. Along with those specials is a 30-minute recess. So when we make our way around the school, I'll point out where our playground is at as well. But we start coding as early as kindergarten, and we go all the way up to 8th grade with coding. But it's also a club that you can have after school as well. We do offer a different variety of clubs. They range from technology, modern dance, K2 yoga, robotics. We have Lego club, run club, nature club. We have a different wide variety of clubs. Our club fair is typically in October, where you'll be able to sign your kids up for a different club per trimester. We are now in 1st grade. We have a little special bit right now. So our 1st grades, we actually have 4 classrooms. Typically with NHA schools, we have 3. We're actually all in here, all of our 1st grade team. So take a look at our 1st grade team.
It's our 2nd video.
Yay! So they're actually videoing some lessons right now for their kiddos. But this is typically a 1st grade classroom. They have their I can statements up at the top. I can statement is a positive reinforcement of what they're going to be doing for their lesson. Their champs is again up on the board, their behavioral expectations with those champs. So you can see with Miss Johnston's class, she has her little blocks up at the top. Those are her I can statements. And you'll notice it looks very similar to the kindergarten classrooms. The biggest difference right now between a kindergarten classroom and a 1st grade classroom are the desks. Now kiddos have these desks because they're able to put their textbooks and their workbooks. And by the way, every kiddo gets their own textbook and workbook. They do not have to share. So those items will go right into their desk. They still have the cubbies to hang their book bags up at and to keep their headphones at and to hang their coats up. We still have the instructional carpet time, so the alphabet carpet's up there for when they're having that as well. Schedules are still up at the board. Reading libraries, again, are still in the classroom. And our kidney tables are still here as well. So part of that workshop rotation, they'll have that one-on-one with their teacher, either group or individual at that kidney table. So swinging through between our 1st grade classrooms is our playground area. The kiddos are able to take books if they would like, but we also offer times for our kiddos to check out equipment if they would like as well. So we have our basketball area, our soccer field, and our playground. Every kiddo from kindergarten to 8th grade has 30 minutes of recess every day. We also have wing bathrooms. Upon here on our left are our kindergarten through 2nd grade only wing bathrooms. We'll take a quick peek into one of our 2nd grade classrooms, and then after that, our classrooms get pretty similar. We try to be consistent and stable as possible when we go through our school, so the biggest difference you're going to see is how the teachers decorate the classroom. The only limitation they have is it has to meet fire code. So this is the start of 2nd grade. We're going to swing around and take a look at one of our last 2nd grade classrooms. This is one of our last second grade classrooms. As you can see in this classroom, we have our I can statements up at the top. They have them by subject. They also have their moral focus curriculum up there. You can see their do now is up there. Once you hit third grade, they also add a homework block. So all of our classrooms pretty much have the same layout. It just adds one more thing when you hit third grade. It goes right on with our student responsibility pillar, the homework block. We give them planners starting in 3rd through 8th grade. And it's their responsibility for starting to write down their tests, their homework, their quizzes, their reports, or when anything's due in that planner. But you can see with Ms. Scotto's classroom, she has her champs up on the board. It's still left over from Thursday, but that's okay because the kiddos, when they come in here next time, she's gonna have it up fresh and they'll know what to do when she comes in for when they come in. So our champs is there and our I can statements are ready to go. Starting in 3rd grade, we departmentalize. We have a social studies and science classroom. We have a math classroom. We have an ELA classroom. So 3rd grade starts here, but before we go too further down the hallway, we have our art classroom and our music classroom. So that is also one of the specials that we offer is art and music. We have an art show in April. We also have chorus concerts and band concerts for music. Middle school may participate in band, and they are the only grade that's allowed to participate in band, but we do offer recorders for 4th and 5th grade as well. These are our last 2 3rd grade classrooms. We have Miss Rosa and Miss Barnes, and we will continue down the hallway to 4th grade. Before we go to 4th grade, let's actually take a peek into the gym. The gym has 4 entrances. This is one of 4. Right now we're having it set up just for some conferences for our parents to come in and grab some supplies for their kiddos. But on the far side is where we set up our picnic tables and eat lunch every day. We do offer hot breakfast and hot lunch, and we'll sit at these picnic tables family style for lunch. You can view whatever's available on your parent portal, and you can also see how much money is left on your account. That parent portal has a lot of different things that it offers. You can fill out enrollment forms, you can see attendance, you can see grades, but meals also is something that's available. All right, taking a look down our 4th grade hallway.
I'll tell you, I'm trying to get to that.
We start with Miss Millard and Miss Stevenson's classroom. Let's go in and take a look at Miss Stevenson's classroom. You can see here at Miss Stevenson's classroom, she's got her champs up ready for them to go on the board. She's set down. Looks like they're going to dissect some owl pellets, so she's got everything set up and ready to go for them. Her I can statements are up there at the cross at the top of the board. So again, they know exactly what they do when they come in. And one of my favorite things about Miss Stevenson's classroom is one of her behavioral modifications is music. The kids love it. She's not the only teacher that does it, but I really like it because hers has a 60s playlist that goes on while her kiddos are in the classroom, and they love it. And they know that if they get too loud or too where they can't hear the music, they have to come down in volume. And the kids love the music, so they typically keep very quiet so they can hear it. Thank you, Miss Stevenson.
You're welcome.
So some things you might have noticed as walking through the school are the yoga balls, the different type of seating that we offer. We offer plenty of alternative seating for our kiddos to whatever they need. We have bands that go across the bottom of the chairs for those who need that extra wiggle. We have bicycles underneath the desks for those who just need that extra activity. We have yoga balls, we have wiggle seats, wiggle stools. Miss Barnett, we can take a peek in her classroom. She even has a couch. She has it set up for her read at loud time that she does. You can see that she's got a massive reading library. Obviously, Miss Barnett is an ELA teacher, but you can see she's got her reading library out. Again, the kiddos can check out a brand new book the first thing the next day if they would like. We always allow our kiddos to come in and check those books out. But you can see she has the different type of seating in here and the couch. The kids typically love going to that when they have their 20 minutes read aloud time. Let's head on down the hallway. We start with 5th grade here with Miss Davis, and then we have Miss Spence and Miss Garris at the end of the hallway. You can kind of take a peek out that door. You're going to actually see one of the electives for middle school. It's our horticulture box, as Mr. Brzezowski does with his class. So for middle school, we're actually entering middle school area. It's a little bit different with our kids in middle school. So they have specials and electives. The electives can range from different subjects, from horticulture, as you can see their boxes, Or they could have scary stories with Ms. Wakovich or leadership with Ms. Miller. There's a sheet that they're giving at the beginning of the trimester that they get to choose from of what they would like to participate in. And we try to put them in at least one of their top 3 at the beginning of the trimester. Each kiddo gets a locker. We ask that they use combination locks. You can see 6th graders, they love locks on their lockers, so you're going to see more here. When we move to the 7th and 8th graders, they don't really like them anymore. It's not a new thing. So you'll notice that they don't have them. It's not a requirement at all for them. Let's take a look at Ms. Miller's 6th grade classroom. This is a 6th grade ELA class. It looks a little different now than the rest of our classes. That's why we wanted to take a step in. But you can see one thing that stayed the same was the front board. Her CHAMPS is up there. Her I CAN statement is up there. Now it's subject specific since this is an ELA classroom. We also have our reading library. It does look a little bare, but it's because most of the kids have the books. We have about 6,500 books total for our library for our school, which is a pretty big number. We also have our homework set up there, and then our kidney shake table and the rest of our reading library over there. Let's take a look at Ms. Wakovich's math class for 6th grade. Again, looks very similar to all of our other classrooms. CHAMPS is up there. Her I CAN statements are there. Awesome thing about Ms. Wakovich, she also has text reminders sent out. We do a lot of technology-based instruction with our middle school classrooms. Just for like Google Classroom, Google Suite, we have text reminders. A lot of the times we ask the kids to turn their assignments in online for reports. So we'll use Google Classroom a lot for that as well. Let's take a look. 7th grade classroom for science. Let's take a look at Mr. McDonald's classroom. Big difference in here is it's a science classroom. So there's no carpet. We have regular tile floor. We have our science tables. So they're now lab benches. But the board, again, is the same. CHAMPS is there. And when our 7th and 8th graders are coming in, his I CAN statements will go right back up on the board. Reading library is over there in the corner. Not a lot of big changes when it comes to our classrooms. We have our CHAMPS up, we have our I CAN statements up. Same thing if I walked right into Mr. Brzezowski's 8th grade social studies classroom, we'll be able to see the same thing. He's got chairs up right now just because we were cleaning, but you can see he's got his I CAN statements up there at the top just as well. So not a real big difference when it comes to our middle school classrooms. We actually finished down the hallway with Ms. Humphrey's ELA 7th grade classroom, 7th and 8th grade. 7th and 8th grade, 6th grade bathrooms, it's only for middle school. And our middle school dean's office over here, Dean Reddick. Again, we try to put our dean near our kiddos. We're actually rounding our way back to the front of the school. It's one big circle. And we end our tour with a trip to the principal's office. But not because we're in trouble, it's because that's where his office is located, in the front of the school, up with our front office staff. We're finishing our tour up. And I typically would ask for your name tag at this point so I could go ahead and sign you out. But thank you for coming along on a tour of our school today. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email at 108.Dawson, DAWSON, @nhasschools.com. Thanks.